What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Thursday, June 9th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 6-game slate tonight. So let's take a look at the pitching position. So I like Garrett Cole. He's $10,800 FanDuel salary, $400 less on DraftKings. And he's in a decent spot here versus the Minnesota Twins. Now, Garrett Cole has averaged 40 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 58, 49, and 42 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 2.78. Record is 5-1, pitching an average of 94 pitches per game. So I like Garrett Cole here versus the Minnesota Twins, but I also like Max Fried, and he's pitching against a low salary batting team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Max Fried only giving up a .599 OPS versus lefties, facing 4 lefties. The Pirates have only hit 2 of his last 13 pitches. That's a 154 batting average. Although it's a small sample size, it's a good start. He's $9,800 FanDuel salary, $300 less on DraftKings, averaging 35 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 2.74. Record is 5-2, pitching an average of 93 pitches per game. So I like Max Fried here versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Josh Naylor with a 58% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, James Caprillion. Josh Naylor, he's batting 36% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .863 OPS versus righties. James Caprillion pitching 21% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .837 OPS versus lefties. Now he is 0 for 1 versus Caprillion, but we can throw that out. And Josh Naylor is $3,100 FanDuel salary, $1,100 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of 279. So I like Josh Naylor here versus James Caprillion. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. Here's a value play. I like Rougned Odor with a 66% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Kris Bubic. Rougned Odor batting 20% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .808 OPS versus lefties. Kris Bubic pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 46% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a 1.364 OPS versus lefties. And I like this pick because Rougned Odor is only $2,400 FanDuel salary, only $500 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. Now, he only has a batting average of 221, but he did score fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. And Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like I like Rougned Odor here versus Kris Bubic. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Here's a stud pick for you. I like Jose Ramirez with a 35% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, James Caprillion. Jose Ramirez is batting 17% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.002 OPS versus righties. James Caprillion pitching his worst ball versus switch hitters, 18% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .912 OPS versus switch hitters. Jose Ramirez is $4,500 FanDuel salary, $1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 15 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, with the lowest score being 12. So he's got a batting average of .285. So I like Jose Ramirez here versus James Caprillion. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Luis Garcia. He's got a 46% batting advantage over Trevor Rogers. Luis Garcia is batting 45% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.247 OPS versus lefties. Trevor Rogers pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .768 OPS versus lefties. Luis Garcia is 0 for 2 versus Rogers. He's $3,000 FanDuel salary, $1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, and he has a batting average of .333. So I like Luis Garcia here versus Trevor Rogers. Now here's a value play. I like Isaiah Keener-Falefa with a 12% batting advantage over Dylan Bundy. Isaiah Keener-Falefa, he's batting 8% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .661 OPS versus righties. Dylan Bundy pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .848 OPS versus righties. Isaiah Keener-Falefa is 6 for 16, batting a .375 batting average and a .974 OPS versus Bundy. He's only $2,800 FanDuel salary, $900 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .267. So I like Isaiah Keener-Falefa here versus Dylan Bundy. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. A home run hitter that I like on this slate is Aaron Judge with a 19% batting advantage over Dylan Bundy. Aaron Judge is batting 15% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.021 OPS versus righties. Dylan Bundy, he is pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .848 OPS versus righties. And Aaron Judge is 5 for 19. Now that's a .263 batting average, but he has a 1.122 OPS versus Bundy because 3 of those 5 hits are for home runs. He's 4,600 FanDuel salary, 1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 15 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .311, so I like Aaron Judge here versus Dylan Bundy. I also like Andrew Benintendi with a 16% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Jordan Lyles. Andrew Benintendi is batting a .781 OPS versus righties. Jordan Lyles pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .912 OPS versus lefties. Andrew Benintendi is 2 for 6 versus Lyles. He's 3,100 FanDuel salary, only 400 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .315. So I like Andrew Benintendi here versus Jordan Lyles. Now I got another value play for you here. Take a look at Steven Kwan with a 42% batting advantage over that low salary pitcher, James Caprillion. Steven Kwan batting 21% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .748 OPS versus righties. James Caprillion pitching 21% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .837 OPS versus lefties. Steven Kwan is 0 for 2 versus Caprillion. He's only 2,600 FanDuel salary, 500 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .257, so I like Steven Kwan here versus James Caprillion. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.